it's brilliant for us to, for our parent company to get a mention in a report as prestigious as this. I think it acts as a real testament to you know, the quality of the staff we have here, the quality of the service that we offer, and the results that we manage to produce for our customers. The content marketing industry as a whole is becoming increasingly more complex. That is, it's becoming more difficult, I think, for clients to be able to produce the sort of content that they require on all the things that go around that in-house. What companies can get when they come to us is a full service. It's not just the content that they can get, but they also get the PR side of things. They get all the promotional activities, they get the technical support, they get all the SEO expertise, they can get a full rounded package. If you want to do that yourself, it's incredibly expensive. It can also be extremely difficult to manage. It's not convenient. We have a mixture of people who come to us. We have people who clearly don't have the resources to do it themselves, which is why they pay us to do it. But we also have a lot of large companies, FTSE 100 companies, really major companies with a lot of resources at their disposal, who could in theory probably do it themselves, but they come to us because it's convenient. They don't have the time to do it themselves, and we can cut out and help them a lot in that. So I think that's probably why we're seeing more of this. There's a lot of things where if you go the agency route, you just you don't need to consider it. Say if your writer leaves, you've got one person writing all your stuff, you have to find a replacement for them. How do you make sure that the replacement's as good? You have to spend time training them again. You have to spend time actually recruiting them. It's very, with an agency, you don't have to worry about that sort of thing because it's all provided for you. And as I say, it's not just one member of staff we're talking about here. We're talking about putting together a whole team, managing that whole team, and it's very difficult to do that in-house. Well, there are clear advantages, I think, or at least there are suggestions for why people should do it in-house. Obviously, there's an easier to control aspect. Companies might feel like they have greater ownership over that, of the content that's being produced. They might feel that by having their own staff involved, it's easy for them to ensure that they are able to fully engage with their brand and understand it. I think this will probably change moving forwards increasingly. I mean, we've seen figures, which you touched on before, that we are getting a growing number of people turning to agencies. The reason for this is because, as I say, we need a whole package now. You can't just do written content anymore. You have to do video alongside it. You have to do all your social media activities alongside it. And in terms of having studios set up, most businesses just cannot do that. It's very difficult for them to do that, and it would take a lot of investment for them to get those sort of facilities. So if you want a whole package, we're finding that companies now need to go the agency route. No, I don't think it's tricky for an agency to work alongside an in-house team, and I don't think it has to produce any kind of greater difficulties for the client themselves. We work alongside a lot of in-house teams, and it can work very successfully. There's very different levels of involvement. Sometimes we work very closely with in-house teams, other times we might be completely separate, but there's definitely a way of making it work. I personally love to have a really close relationship with the in-house teams. They are often more closely on the same wavelength as us. We can work really well with them. Obviously, when we take on a new client, it's important for us to have to get to understand them as quickly as possible. If we've got someone in there who's already doing sort of what we do, and we can talk to them and work with them, then it can obviously help us get up to speed quickly, and they can often learn as much from us as we learn from them. A lot of our clients that we work with, we have almost internal champions at their end, people who do work with us and can fully understand what we do and can relay that to their bosses who may not have such a greater level of understanding. It can really help with that sort of working relationship. And also in terms of putting together effective campaigns. If they have an in-house team working on content marketing, we're working on content marketing for them. We want to be doing the same sort of thing. We need to kind of join up and work together. And that's when we work at our best, I'd say. There's definitely, in terms of pitfalls, a problem of resources. For the amount of spend that you need to spend on getting an agency in, you're simply not going to be able to produce that sort of resources in-house. So say if you spent £1,500 a month on an agency, which is a fairly typical amount, with an agency you get access to everything. You're going to have your own writing teams, you can have video with it, you can have your PR stuff, you can have your social media stuff, you get the tech development, you get access to exclusive sources, you get guided at every step of the way. You get a whole package, which obviously if you try to do that yourself would be incredibly expensive. £2,000, you're going to hire maybe 1-2 people. An agency, you're going to get a whole team of 10 people plus working on your account. Editorial teams need to adapt, I think, moving forwards in the next 18 months. We're already seeing it. I already think the best agencies are already adapting to this. As I said, these days it's all about a whole kind of integrated package, not just one type of content, 4 or 5 different types of content with all the promotional PR stuff to go alongside that. Traditionally, with the way content marketing has been run, there's been a separation, I would suggest, between certain products. So you might have one person producing the written content and one person producing the video, and they might never speak to each other and we do completely different things. What needs to happen and what Google wants and what produces the best quality content is for teams to work completely with each other, to be involved at every stage of the process. So for the writer of the content to be as involved in the social side of things as they are in the actual written piece. That is what is happening now. We're going to get much more of it moving forward. The way Google functions is all about quality. Quality is king as far as Google is concerned, and all the changes that it's made over the last few years and all the changes it's going to continue to make are all going to be about quality. So it's not, we can't sit here and think, how can we trick the system? How can we get our way around Google? What we all have to focus on is quality. We need to produce the best possible product. So instead of thinking about really what Google wants, we need to think about what our readers want, what our potential customers are going to want, what is going to work for them. If we produce the best content for our customers, then Google should follow suit and reward us accordingly in the search engine rankings. They have the same aim as customers, or at least this is what they say. So this is what we should be aiming for, I think. It's a false economy to go about it any other way.